So finally back from nationals, and at the first local event, I'm in my own car now. So after a couple of attempts at driving other cars, I'm just back in my own car, and it's just kind of nice to be in a familiar place that I know is going to react to my inputs a certain way. So let's see how this course goes. So 58 on that run. I was watching some times from the morning, and 58 really isn't the best. So just struggling to find a little bit of time. So this run, I'm trying to cut distance on all of those sweepers. That's something I'm trying to tell myself, is to cut distance. And with this one here, I was actually really happy with how I took that corner there and that hairpin. But cutting distance got the better of me, hit this cone here, so that's already +1 on this run. But this section was basically how long could you hold on and just keep into the gas before this next sweeper. Unfortunately, I gave up courage a little bit too early and braked too soon for that one here. And after that, I'm coming up to this next turnaround, and here I actually broke too late. So on this run, I remember thinking to myself, I thought it took that pretty tight, but it's actually a lot wider than I thought. And then once you get around that final turnaround, this section was basically how fast can you go and just kind of wiggle around the cones, although I forgot about that one. So ended up hitting that one, but a 3-second improvement nearly. I just have to go out there and take off a couple of cones. So I managed to keep this run clean, losing a couple tenths in the process, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So let's go back and analyze what I could have done just a little bit differently to try to find a couple more tenths and maybe see if I could have gotten into the 55. So the start here is actually kind of straightforward. I've got the car all the way to the right, and after that it's just a matter of launching it as hard as I possibly can, which for a Civic isn't very fast. But after that, just making that left hand and then just naturally coming out of that corner sets me up for the next portion, so I didn't have to worry about setup here too much. So you can tell I'm looking way ahead trying to see the corner exit. And with this one, it's all about how tight can I keep this corner without adding distance. Unfortunately, we can see from the speedometer there, I gave up a little bit too much speed to keep it too tight. I was actually a lot happier with how I did the third run as opposed to this fourth run here. So if I could have somehow mashed those together, maybe I could have gotten a better time. So as I come up to this corner here, I'm realizing I think I've developed a complex a little bit after driving the looser cars from nationals. And that complex is about hitting the brakes while I'm turning. So I've actually, you can hear I hit the brakes when I was going straight here, giving up speed where I didn't really need to. And by the time I'm making the corner, I'm going much slower than I was in previous runs. So I didn't want to hit that cone because I wanted to set a clean time, but I think I just gave up a little bit too much speed here just to make it happen. So actually the same thing with this sweeper now. There's that little bump in the lot where I try to give up my speed before the bump because I know as the car's landing I won't have the ability to really hit the brakes and slow down where I need it. But this course was actually set up that I could hit that bump, land, and then get on the brakes and still have enough time to turn in. But unfortunately that didn't click in my brain for the 4 runs that we had. So you can hear I hit the brakes before the bump, go over the bump, and then I'm just coasting until I hit the sweeper. So gave up just a little bit of precious speed there for a couple hundred feet. Could have added a tenth or two. So really should have just pushed a little bit harder on maybe a run or two and just see how it felt. So what's weird is 2 sweepers in a row I slowed down too much, and then with this one I didn't slow down enough, or really I just kind of initiated things a little bit too late. So you can see all that distance I'm leaving to that cone there, where I should have been tight on this entire sweeper because since I'm driving such a low power car I have to gain whatever distance I can. So I just added some distance through here and a couple other places as well, which, you know, it's small, but it's still a couple of tenths once you add it up over the entire course. So really should have tried to trim up that corner a little bit more. So now that I'm into this big long straight, essentially, it was originally meant to be a slalom until they tweaked the course for safety. But really it was just kind of holding on and dodging cones as fast as they were coming at you, which is kind of fun. It's a little bit different than our normal courses. So across the line at 75 miles per hour, which, you know, really isn't bad for an old Civic. But really the fastest way through that section was having a faster, higher horsepower car. And it really showed in the results, actually. The more powerful all-wheel drive cars came through there much quicker times and really kind of set the pace for the day. And my little old Civic with all these tight hairpins and acceleration zones just kind of had a hard time keeping up with packs. So could have cleaned up my runs and done better, but it was also just at a little bit of a disadvantage. So ended up having a 914 PAX index for the day, which didn't help much with my championship standings for the year, but that'll just give me a goal to work on next time. So if you enjoyed watching, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any ideas on things you'd like to see in these kinds of videos, just make sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.